So today I want to talk about detox and cleanse and how has this been a profound journey, not only for myself, but also for my patients and my community. I like to call it a journey to the self because I know we're not just cleansing the physical part of our body, but we also at the same time supporting our emotions and our spirit aspect of our whole being. So let me introduce myself and what brought me into this journey. So I am Dr. Daniela Donoso and I studied traditional Chinese medicine in China. I trained and practiced there for around 5 years. After that, I lived around Asia, between Thailand and Indonesia, and I start my practices. So I have guided already 500 individuals on detox programs, and I also have supported personal clients and traditional Chinese medicine consultations. And we have seen amazing results when we combine these two things, and that's usually my specialty. So TCM and detox, usually it's one of the best practices that you can address to support not only body, as I said, but mind, spirit, and soul. So today we're going to discuss on why we're going to detox, how we're going to detox, what we need to detox, when, and where, right? So all of these questions are going to be answering to you. Of course, because you don't have access live to me right now and ask me questions live, you feel free to reach out to me on email or on chat. If you have any questions during this class, I will be happy to reply. So let's go for the first question, which is why we're detoxing, right? So this brings me to my life story and why I started detoxing, and probably it will connect with yours or someone that you know, and that starts making sense to you. So I was born in the 90s, so I'm a 90s baby, and a 90s baby, we're giving milk that it's not directly from mom's breast. They were giving antibiotics, right? They will also, the way it's born, it was born in a very different and very clean and sterilized and non-connection, and probably a lot of aggression during the pregnancy, right? Also, I was a baby that was separate from the mom, sleep in a cage, right? So all this lack of touch, connection, breastfeed, and lots of pharma would affect the immune system of the baby, and that's probably why many 90s or 80s babies will have this similar situation, because we all somehow have gone through similar ways of being brought into the world, right? So my immune system was very low. My gut flora wasn't great, and that's very important when you're born. So I will constantly get sick, right? I will get allergies all the time. I will get fevers all the time. So my mom had to address this with antibiotics and anti-allergens, and she'll give me a lot of pharma medication that ends up and a tumor in my neck when I was 2 years old, right? So she used a lot of pharma, a lot of the things that need to keep me stable, but at the end of the day, that gave me side effects as a tumor, right? So it's very, very important to be careful when we drink medicaments or pharma, and how do we drink it and how much do we drink it. So this was a big eye-opening for my parents, and they were like, wow, there's something that we have to change in our lifestyle. We can't continue doing this to our kid and to ourselves. Like, look at the results. So they wanted to have a completely lifestyle change, and my mom became a health nut mom. It means that she was all in research of like how to clear, how to not use pharma, and how to use nature, how to change her diet. We became the first vegetarian family in the whole town. So we were just eating fruits and vegetables and cleansing and detoxing. And my mom will use homeopathy, right? Like the natural therapy or the natural medicine that was accessible for us in the town, and using herbs and decoctions. So my mom really went in it, because she was like, well, I created this, so I have to fix it, and I want to make sure my family is healthy for the next years to come. So I connected with my mom fully on this as I grew up. I grew up doing detoxing, liver detox, gut cleanses. I grew up doing fastings and diets, and I grew up also in the middle of nature. My mom always will find a way to be living in the middle of like the forest or in the middle of the mountains, far away from society. So she always wanted to come back to that origin of herself and nature and that connection. So I really loved that way of growing up. Thankfully, when I was 2 years old, my mom did the surgery for my tumor. The tumor didn't grow back, and we start a new life and track on that and support it with a natural lifestyle. So all these things that my mom taught me took me into the being interested in natural medicine. So I always wanted to study homeopathy, and I wanted to go to Germany and study it from the source, but that wasn't a possibility because my nationality wouldn't allow to get the student visa in the right time. So then I just decided to study traditional Chinese medicine directly from the source in China, which visa was easy, everything opened up for me, everything was smoothly, and I arrived there. And just life starts showing itself. So I went to Shanghai University of Traditional Chinese Medicine. It's only a specific university for that, right? So it's a beautiful big university where I learned so many things. Even we practice qigong, kung fu, tai chi every morning. We will go to all different kinds of classes. It felt a little bit like Hogwarts from Harry Potter, right? Like learning all these amazing things from the human being and ancient history and from ancient books that it's been shown that it works, right? That's why it's lasts until now, and it's still working. And most of hospitals in China are based on traditional Chinese medicine. So I was so happy that the universe took me into this path. And then I realized that most of naturopath or natural medicines source their information from this original medicines, traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda. So it was amazing, this path, but during my life, I was also very restricted, right? So my mom would not let me eat meat or eat processed food or go to McDonald's like normal kids would do, right? So I was always curious of how that would feel, how that would taste, right? So when I moved to China, I started trying all the food that wasn't allowed to eat, right? I was still vegan, vegetarian, but I mean, that was high carb food, fried noodles, fried rice, all the baozi or the dumplings, right? All the fried tofu, all the kinds of tofu, and all these oily soups, and all this kind of food street from China. And I was really into it. Like I was a teenager, and I wanted to try all this delicious food that China had to offer, but that led into a big problem, right? My problem was that I gained severely weight. I started feeling depressed. I was feeling hungry all the time. I started having huge hormonal issues like menstrual pain. I started having irregular menstruation, so my menstruation would not be coming for many months, right? My bowels was just completely messed. I would start having constipation. I would sneeze all the time. I probably would sneeze for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes before going to sleep. My nose was dripping all the time. So this became an issue. And I, like how to say, shit hit the fan for me again. So of course I had to go to another transformation, right? So my transformation was very committed to get my healthy body again and start detoxing. So I started doing all the detox processes that my mom taught me when I grew up, when I was a kid, when I was an early teenager. So here are my classmates in which I went to traditional Chinese medicine with, and they will see me detox, and some of them will join me as well, right? So it was like curiosity, because in Chinese medicine we use a lot of herbs, personalized treatments, and I come out with this information of detox. So I start blending it. I start like finding ways of how can I use herbs and acupuncture and all the things that I learned in class with what I have learned through my lifestyle and naturopaths all around the world, right? So in TCM, I start treating the root cause, right? So we when we go on a Chinese medicine consultation, it's usually focused on where are the problems coming from, right? Which organ it's generating, which organ is imbalanced, and from there we can treat it from the beginning, and the symptoms will start fading away. We usually don't target the symptoms, like for example, a person that has a headache or migraines and they drink a painkiller to relieve the migraine. For us, is what is causing the migraine, so your migraines doesn't come back, right? So that's what we do usually in traditional Chinese medicine, and every case is different and every root cause is different, right? So as I was treating patients with the root cause, I also try to combine detox as I was doing with myself. And this was the perfect formula, right? Because I saw how people could understand the root cause, do the detox for that specific organ, and heal so quickly and fast, compared to the slow process of natural medicine that sometimes take a month, sometimes take 2 months. Detoxing was a speeder, like it was just speeding the process, and I was like, wow, I'm liking this and they're liking this, so let's do it, right? So I start guiding my own detox programs with the clients. They start sharing it with other friends. We start doing groups, and that's how naturally all these detox programs start forming. And then I start offering different organs programs, and as people were asking me, as people were coming, I would start develop what it is right now. So now I like to guide people through the journey of detoxing, and journey of detoxing is I start feeling it more deeper than just the body and just symptoms, right? When you start shedding and clearing out layers of yourself, of toxins that being stored and held back, you also start connecting more and peeling layers of your actual being, right? So it's a way of coming back to yourself, listening more to yourself. I don't know if you ever detoxed before, but you probably have some kind of feeling. Sometimes there is resistance, and there's ways of learning of letting that go of that resistance, and then it opens up a special space where you start connecting with your own self, and start being very grateful to the actions that are you taking towards your health. So it's a beautiful journey, not only physical but also emotional, spiritual. And I have seen miracles happen, and it's amazing how this can change people's life. So I became very devoted to this, because it was not only my job, but it was also something that was changing life after life, and start changing the world. So this became a ripple effect, and if a person can learn something new with me, and during their process, they will teach and tell their family members in their community, and that will help other people. So for me, the goal is, if you're learning one thing today, and let's say you're not joining detox after, but if you learn one thing today, that it's something that just opens up for you and your consciousness, and something that's going to start activating within you, and probably will be useful for someone next to you, or someone in your family, in your community. So one of the miracles things that we have done here, we have healed psoriasis. So if you do a detox, you can start reducing psoriasis in a 30%. And that's just one detox. If you do more than one detox, then 30% less, and so on, right? One of the main symptoms that people come with, it's depression, right? So depression is usually coming from specific organs not being functioning properly, being affected emotionally, or being affected physically by toxins, right? That affect later our mental health and going up to the brain. Depression is something that we've been healing fully in a period of 3 months. Fertility and hormones. So cleansing the body, but especially toxins affect the endocrine system, and endocrine system is managing our hormones. So once we clear it up, we allow the hormones to balance up, and after 2 detoxes, we have managed women to get pregnant, right? After 1 detox, we can release mostly, or sometimes absolutely, or 100% no menstrual pain. So this is one of the amazing and proud achievements that we have done with these detoxes. And digestive issues and bloating, it's common in almost 95% of the clients and detox participants have before they start their detox, right? So after 1 detox, the bowels start becoming regular, and there's no bloating. After 2 detoxes, long-term regular bowels and no bloating. So this is very fascinating. So this is my grandpa over here. Introduce him. His name is Abuelo Juan, and he had severe cirrhosis because he drank alcohol all his life, right? So around when he was 68, he started suffering about this, and we target this with detoxing and natural herbs. With this, we expanded his life for a year when the doctors told him he was just going to be living for 3 months only. Probably more than a year and a half. So it was wonderful for us, and it's a very proud achievement that we at least gave him more months to live and more months to stay and find a way to say goodbye to this world. So yeah, it was a slow journey, but it was very powerful to see how that was a possibility. So now we're going to go on our second question. What is detox, right? So this is like an answer is like, what is happening in a detox? Why do we need to detox? So we're going to dig a bit more deeper into science and how it's useful for your body, right? So I like to say detox is getting out of the way so our miraculous body can do its thing, right? So it means the body is a perfect machine made by the universe, guide, the source, or what you like to call it, that works in perfect forms. And actually your body has its natural way to detox. But when we intervene in our natural processes and with unnatural things, then our bodies start getting stuck. And that's what we need to do. We need to allow to take out the things that are stuck in our body, so the body that has its natural forms allows to do its own thing, right? So when we do that, it's a way of letting go, because we need to get things out. It's a way of trusting. It's a way of unlocking and surrender to the body system, right? So ideally our body wants to flow and harmony, the circulation needs to flow in perfect balance everywhere in the body. And that's what we say in Chinese medicine. We want the qi, or circulation, to be in complete harmony from up to down, down to up, right? But not ideal body is that when this circulation gets stuck at some point, right? So that's why I put the traffic picture, because when there's traffic, there is no movement, circulation, then there's pollution and there's issues, right? So this happens as well with our body when we bring in toxins, when we bring in bad healthy lifestyles, inflammation. It's generating stagnation, it's generating clog in different parts and aspects of our body, right? So in Chinese medicine, we like to say that we are part of nature as human. We are one with it. So we need nature. We use nature to understand our lifestyles, right? If you see in nature, they show up in cycles or different seasons, right? So we go also on cycles, especially women, we go on cycles. Also men, they go on the day cycles. When we see nature fresh, vital, vibrant, right, we connect with that and we start feeling that way. When we eat things that are fresh, vital, vibrant, that also give us that feeling. So the connection with nature, it's very direct as we are part of her. So And in nature, in Chinese medicine, we use the concept of dampness, right? And dampness in nature or in the world, it looks like some kind of fungi, right? So I like to say, imagine a room that you close it up and you don't open for many months. What happens in the room? It shows up dampness in the walls. It shows up, fungi and this things that you see in this picture. It means the lack of circulation in the place allows dampness and air moving very soft and heavy, right? And then just bacteria and fungi grow in it. So we call stagnation in our body, we call it dampness. It usually promotes dampness, and this dampness doesn't allow circulation and harmony of the flow of our body to go smoothly and in balance, and affects different processes of the body, right? So again, our problem is not our body, right? Our problem is usually our lifestyle, right? The way we eat, the way we live, right? So for example, eating acidic foods, cooked oils, uncooked meats, processed fast foods, right? High fried food as well, or high levels of stress when we're like always constantly thinking, don't give a break to the body to restore, right? Not giving enough time to sleep well, not sleeping 8 hours that we're supposed to. This allows the body to go in a very acidic environment. An acidic environment ends up promoting inflammation that weakens our organs, and the organs stop functioning. Then we start gaining weight, or we stop absorbing nutrients, or we stop thinking better, and our energy start going low, and fatigue, and our bowel movements start becoming also maybe irregulated, maybe too much loose stools, or not well bowel movements, and constipation, and starts changing here and there, and we start feeling gassy. So it's where the problems start happening, right? So what happened to our cells when we are detoxing, and what means acidity environment? So I'm going to explain a little bit about this. So the first thing, there's two concepts that we need to understand. One is autophagy, right, which is the process in which the body goes when we're detoxing, and the other one, it's pH. Understanding how we balance the pH or the inner environment of our body is very important for the detox process. So here we go. So autophagy, it's a process in which our cells go on a breakdown, on a cleansing, on recycling, right? So it's a way for the body to promote longevity and cellular efficiency. It's a hard word for efficiency, right? So this allows for us to live long and stay or survive thriving, right, in a good state of our body. But for this, there is two ways to activate, or there's one way that activates it and one way that disactivates this process. So when this process is not working or disactivates, is usually when we're eating, right? Because when we're eating, the cells goes on using the nutrients and storing energy. But when does this process activate? And this process activates when we're doing three main things. We're doing intermittent fasting. It means we fast for long times. When we are exercising for at least 30 minutes a day, and when we reduce high carbohydrate intake, right? So that's mostly what we usually do on a detox, right? So pH. So what is pH? pH is a way for us to level, right? Kind of like the weather of our body, right? So pH means potential of hydrogen. It means how many hydrogen is in that environment, right? So when we have high amounts of hydrogen, right, too much hydrogen, it's a very acidic environment, right? So let's say too much hydrogen, or like too much heat. Let's connect it with a desert, right? We have too much heat, very acidic environment. So when we have a low hydrogen, right, then it's very alkaline, right? Like let's say very cold, areas that are very cold, that's an association. But we want to reach somewhere in the middle, not too freezing, not too much heat. We want to reach a place like spring, right? Like where everything flourishes and everything has the right temperature to perform and thrive, right? And that's what we call the neutral, and that's where our body's at, and it's usually it's a pH of 7.4, and it's a usually lower hydrogen than the highest alkaline level, which could be a bleach. For us, it will be a pure water, could have a neutral hydrogen, and our body needs to sustain at 7.4. If our body changes drastically in their pH, it can threaten to death. It means our pH cannot go too low or it cannot go too high. So it constantly needs to stay in the middle. And it really takes a lot to, no, it doesn't take that much to actually go low on acidic level. And my acidic level would just be going to a 6 number, or even 7.2, 7.1. If our system changes like that, it can be life-threatening, and it can also be showing that we might be having symptoms in our body or might be sick or disease, right? So for us, it's very important that to keep the body alkaline or in a neutral form. And most of the time, the lifestyle makes our body acidic. So what we constantly want to do is bring it to more alkaline, and that's why we want to find alkaline fruits, alkaline lifestyle, alkaline things that promote alkalinity in our body, because we have the tendency to become acidic because of the lifestyles that we have, right? So what happens in an acidic environment, which is most of us live in, right? It's very reactive and capable of breaking down substances, right? So in this environment, the cell starts like releasing minerals. That's why some people get depleted of minerals, doesn't have enough minerals in their body. When we don't have enough minerals, cells don't get connected, they can't function properly, inflammation starts happening, and it's a beautiful breed environment for the parasites and bad bacteria to grow, because then they like and enjoy acidic environments, and they grow and then start finding houses, and their house and the place where they live, it's mucoid plaque, which is a natural plaque that forms around our intestine, right? And when they see this plaque, they just start living in there, because this place also stores old stools, old bowels, and things that are stuck in their gut as well. So the place becomes very acidic, and they love that, and they just stay in there and start growing in there. So another question is, we are detoxing against who? So who are we detoxing? What are we detoxing? And we are detoxing a couple things, right? So everything that is creating traffic, remember the analogy that I made with the traffic, the car traffic and the obstructions. So many things can be obstructing your body. Some of them can be parasites in many forms. Some of them can be bacteria that are microscopic, especially the bad ones that are affecting our body system. Some of them could be old waste stuck in the intestines, and especially in the mucoid plaque, right? Some of them can be toxins that we take from the air, we take from processed food, we take from medication or pharma, right? So where are we taking out of these obstructions from the body, right? So we have 3 main detox centers in the body, and these detox centers, when they get stuck and they're not releasing the toxins, taking out bad bacteria, taking out parasites, then they start taking over and thriving. So what we need to do is unlock this detox organs in order for detox organs to do this natural function, to release them and let them out of the body, right? These detox organs would be liver, right, will be the gut, and will be the kidney. So if you notice, the liver here has liver pathways that can get stuck eventually when the body becomes too acidic and forms liver stones. So what we do in this cleanse is release the stone, unstock the liver pathway so the liver can function properly and do its work. For the gut, we try to not only kill bad bacteria and parasites, but we also clear out the mucoid plaque that has been there for a while and needs to restore and reborn again, so it gets clean and it avoids the acidic environment to be recreated in that place. So then all bad bacteria and parasites go out, not only by killing them but with their home. And for kidney, we work lymphatic system and kidney because they're really connected, right? And usually the kidney filters get stuck, and when they get stuck with toxins or they form stones, then we stop filtering properly and taking out and taking back into the body what it needs to be taken. So what we do is that we release any obstruction of toxins and unblock the liver filters so the liver can do its normal process work together with the lymphatic system, right? So how can we officially diagnose parasites? How do we know we have parasites? So normally we usually go on a lab test and check your stools, right? Or you get a blood test, or sometimes you get a test of endoscopy, colonoscopy with some camera machines that can check inside your body, or you can do an x-ray or MRI or CAT, right? But the problem is that all this can only identify between 4 to 14 types of worms, in which we have more than 1,000 types of parasites in their body. And they're not only in the stools or not only in the blood, they can be anywhere, right? So they can be going around different tissues, going around different body fluids, different organs. So it's really hard to track them. Even if you do any of these tests, you might not track them all as you would like to. So we have a different process to track them, that there is no way that we can skip them. And how to know, right? So I like to call this a self-diagnose, and this is something that we use a lot in traditional Chinese medicine, because back in the days we didn't have this sophisticated machines to find out what disease you have. We can check in the symptoms, in the pulse, and in the tongue, right? So how to know? In Chinese medicine, we will observe the tongue. We observe how the tongue is, the colors, right? The coating. It tells us a lot where we at, because in each tongue, in each part of the tongue, it shows up a different organ, and then we can see what's going on there, right? In the face, right? So we will observe the face and how the face, if it's shiny, if it's dry, if it's pale, what's going on, if there's pimple, if there's not pimple, which area of the body. It also reflects inside of our body, or organs inside, and how they're functioning. Another way is listening, right? How the person is talking. It has a low voice, if it has phlegm in the voice, right? If it has too loud voice, it tells us something. And the listening, is a person listening well? What does it listen? Is there a P sound? Is there a sh sound? What is it going on? Also for us, smelling the person. If there's a smell, rotten smell, if there's a sweet smell, bitter smell coming out from the person, also tells us something, right? Asking, we call it when, right? So asking, it's going through their lifestyle, finding out what's going on in their bodies, how the body's reacting. It tells us what's going on in each organ as well. Pulse diagnosis. A pulse diagnosis, it's also very, very important for us, because in each part of the pulse, it symbolizes an organ. We're going to go a bit more in detail on this, so you can also try and test on yourself, right? So we'll go on the tongue. So here's where you're going to access the links that I'll send you, and you can start filling in the form about your tongue. So I'll invite you to find a mirror, and I'll explain a little bit how it works, and then you'll try and test it on you. You can stop the video and then fill in the form for the tongue diagnosis, right? So if you see, notice here the tongue, It's divided in different parts. Each part symbolizes a part of our body or an organ, right? The tip symbolizes the heart, the sides symbolize the gallbladder and liver, right? The lung right behind the heart, then the stomach, spleen in the middle, and kidney and bladder in the back, right? So if you see the pictures that I put here is mostly the people that really needs a detox, right? So if our coating, right, it shows up very thick and white, it's usually dampness in the body that's showing up through the tongue, and it's letting us know, hey, I need to release this because too much dampness is coming up, and we need to unlock the processes, especially coming from stomach and spleen. And if you see how the coating, it congests mostly in the middle, right? So we can see there's issues here in stomach and spleen. If you see the sides of this tongue, right, the sides of this tongue is very red. So it says that there is fire in liver. Remember, we always use nature to try to understand ourselves. So fire in liver, it means like a machine convulsionates and heats on fire, or heats us up and turns into fire. And this fire is from unbalance, and it's not from natural fire. So when there's red on the sides, it means liver needs to be balanced, liver needs to be start working properly, and in order to reduce the fire or the toxicity that's happening inside, right? Another common tongue, it's tooth marks, right? If you see it over here, the tooth marks, it's like the sides that you get around your tongue, and this means that the body, there is dampness in the body, and the body, it's retaining, and it's not being able to hold the body properly, because the tongue's supposed to be, smooth. But when it's with cracks on the side, the body's not being held, it's not strong enough, and it's retaining. So when it retains, we associate it with dampness again, and we need to clear dampness in order for the body to smoothly and prevent acidity environment, right? Usually in Chinese medicine, every time we refer to heat or fire, and especially when it's unbalanced, it's connected with acidity and inflammation, right? So, and we see in this tongue over here, so this tongue, it's you see in the back for the kidney and bladder, you will see little red bubbles coming up. This means there's a lot of heat in our kidney. It means the kidney is also heated up because the machine is not working or is being stuck. So we need to work and unstuck the kidneys. And another very important one is the tip of the tongue red. It means there's fire and or heart, right? So it also means usually hearts represent small intestine. So it means there's toxicity in small intestine, right? So this is a basic. So I'll invite you to go on your mirror, give it a look how that looks like, any things, and then you start filling in the form. So for facial and observation, so we're gonna observe the face, right? There are dark spots under the eye, right? So this means there are parasites, right? Is there red, yellow in the eyes, inside of the white side of the eyes? It means there's fire and liver, because liver shows up in the eyes, right? If there is acne, right, coming up, and where it's coming up, so there we divide the face in different organs that represents it, right? So for example, if your acne comes on the sides of your mouth, over here is represented with lungs. Lungs is connected with large intestine, so the colon, right? So over here, lungs and colon would be this area, right? So if you get acne here, it's a kidney, it's being blocked, right? And hormones as well. If you get acne here, it's definitely liver showing up, right? If you get acne here, then small intestine, and then here the heart, and over here the kidneys, right? So we have to see in which areas and not only acne, it can also be eczema or psoriasis in that part of the body or the face. So now I invite you again to go back to fill in your forms and check where is showing up for you. See very well in the mirror, and if there's something showing up for you or not, right? Listening and smelling, right? So this is a little bit of the voice quality. If there is a weak voice, probably there's chronic infection. If there's a bad odor, right, this could be sweet or fruity, it means fungi overgrowth. If there's a bad odor like musty odor, this could be also fungal overgrowth. And there's a rancid odor or bitter odor, this means bacteria imbalance in the gut. Right, another one will be pulse diagnosis. This is one of my favorites and one of what most people ask me for to understand. Right, so if you put your hands like this, right, you'll in front of you like the image, then you will see that on the left hand you can find the heart as the first pulse, and you can use your index finger to touch it. So your first part under the wrist will be the heart, right? So the first part will be the heart, the second part will be the liver, and the third part will be the kidney. And you always want to measure on the sides of the thumb, right? Heart, liver, and kidney. And the same on the other side of your hand. Then will be lung, so index actually, lung, spleen, and kidney, right? So then what are you looking for in this pulses? So we're going to go a little bit more physical so you can understand. So we're looking for slippery pulse, right? Slippery pulse usually looks like this, right? Like some kind of sluggish moving thing, right? And in bulks kind of thing. So this usually means phlegm, dampness, or retained food, right? And this can mean that there's parasites or bad bacteria thriving and overgrowing inside, right? Especially in the pulse of the spleen. Most of it shows on the pulse of the spleen and liver. Another pulse that we're looking for to diagnose parasites, bad bacteria, or need of detoxing is rapid pulse. So it should be more than 90 beats per minute. So you can count it or maybe feel it. It feels too fast compared to other pulses, right? And this means heat. And remember, heat always means acidic or acidity. And if there's acidity, then there is increase of parasites and inflammation, bad bacteria over there. Wiry pulse usually tells us that liver is struggling, right? Or we call it liver Qi stagnation. And wiry we refer to like a string of the chords of the guitar, right? And this will mean there's internal stress, there's parasites or bad bacteria imbalance, right? Especially on the liver point in the pulse. Weak pulse, right? Weak pulse can mean Qi deficiency, means low flow or low circulation. Maybe there's something stuck that is not allowing the circulation to flow, right? Or deficiency of blood. And this could mean chronic parasitic infestation or debilitation because of bacterial overgrowth. Another one will be choppy pulse, right? The choppy pulse, it means like it's irregular. The way is like it's just fast and then slow and then high and then low, So this usually means Qi stagnation and blood stasis. It means that circulation is stuck, and not only that, but also there's blood stuck, which it's like an evolution of circulation being stuck. And this means there might be internal blockages or serious toxins blocking the body and potential related to parasite infections, right? In terms of asking, so there are main questions that we ask in a person needs to go on a detox. So that will be the following, right? Usually, how is digestion, right? How like all around digestive issues is how we integrate food and how we feel in our stomachs and our intestines, right? So is there any painful stomach or digestive disturbances? Do you have any gas or bloating in stomach or in bowel movements? Do you get irritable bowel syndrome, which means sometimes soft bowels or stools and sometimes constipation or diarrhea, right? And it comes shifts and changes. Do you have any of this? Do you have white dots in your stools? Do you have undigested food in your stools, right? Or food particles in it? Do you frequently feel fatigue or tired, right? Or feel chills in your hands or your limbs, right? Feet and hands often. Do you have skin rashes, right? Or any skin issues at all? Do you have food cravings, especially for sweet or starchy foods? And do you frequently get infection or illnesses often? You get frequently flus or cough, and every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, right? So this is with all this information is a way for us to self-diagnose and find out if there's any obstruction of bad bacteria, parasites, or toxins in our body. So again, so I invite you to fill in the list. It's the links I send you in the email. And if you get 4 of this or more of the symptoms, it means you need a cleanse for that specific organ, right? So you're going to count them. You're going to see how many of this shows up for each test, and if it shows up, or the one that shows up the more, maybe you got 8 in one and 9 in one, right? And the other test. So the one you got 9, it means you need to detox that organ urgently, and the one you got 8, it means you can detox that organ after, right? Or if you only got 4 or 5, just one, it means that organ it's requiring a detox, and it's probably not in an extreme phase, but it will prevent extremity or extreme symptoms or illnesses to happen in the future. So that's why detox is very beneficial to sustain and maintain the body as well, and to clear it from any obstructions that it's affecting your organs and body systems. So do you want to know how I do it and how I support people through these processes? So here we go. So how we do it. So there's 3 things that I focus on when I create these detoxes. One is diet. Having the right diet will determine the right environment for the cleanse to happen, right? And it varies and depends on the organ or which detox we're doing. Second, there's a protocol. It means there is going to be a specific timings where you're going to be doing things on the day, and this protocol needs to follow on time and with precision in order for the cleanse to work, right? And if this protocol needs to shift, then that's why I am there for you, in order to adapt it to your needs and your body type, but that still be efficient. So that's where I'll be supporting. And there's going to be natural medicine and herbs and supplements that you're going to be using to deepen the cleanse, right? And this is the most important one, because when we get the right herbs and the right supplements, we can make miracles in the body, because where the work it's really happening. But none of this will work with the others. So the combination of diet, herb or natural supplements and herbs, and the right protocol is the perfect mix to make it happen. So diet, usually for almost all detox, we try to focus on an alkaline diet, pH diet. So that's why we always end up doing it in a way that can support alkalinity with vegetables, fruits, herbs, right? High fiber, and that there are high in minerals, right, and vitamins that can help this alkalinity to happen, right? So the protocol, it's usually following its schedule, right? So there's going to be a schedule made for you, so you can understand and see how it works. Also, there's going to be sometimes group support, sometimes personalized supports one-on-one, where I'm going to be checking on you and keeping track of where you're at, right? And there's going to be also ebooks, right, that explain the protocol. So if you missed out my explanation or you forgot, you can always go back to the ebook and read the explanation, so everything can feel clear for you, right? And how to do it through the week. So the next one will be herbs, right? So using the right herbs combination. And this is when we talk about the natural supplements and herbs. Sometimes I bundle in pills, right, with different dehydrated herbs that can help to target what we need to clear. So it's either in the liver to clear out the pathways, or if it's in the gut to cleanse or to kill bad bacteria and parasites, or if it's in the kidneys to clear out the kidney filters and to dissolve the stones or any toxins that are being blocked the filters, right? So using the right combination at the right timing, right? It's a very, very important and crucial for the cleanses. So this is one of the bundles. Actually, it's our gut cleanse or anti-parasite and gut cleanse bundle, where you have different mix and matches of natural supplements and herbs that we use to promote the cleanse of the body. Okay, so when, right? So when means when I need to do a detox. When is the best time for me to start? So ideally, I like to say this, the ideal moment to begin working on your health goals will be yesterday, right? So it's in the past and we cannot change the past. But the next best opportunity is today, right? And the second best time, it's now. So it means it's never too late. So as soon as you're taking the decision, or as soon as possible you can take that decision, for you will be the best timing, right? So you already started by taking the first step, right? And the first step begins here with being curious. We wanted to be more aware of what's going on in your body and how can this process start. So it can happen for you. How can this how to start the process, what it takes, where do you go, right? So it brings a lot of awareness for you, and you already start intuitively feeling what you need for your body, and you'll be like trying to understand why this will be beneficial for your health, right? So when is the best time to start? So is it when you have lots of symptoms? Is it when you're really shit hit the fans for you? Or is it when you're healthy and to prevent it? I would say both, right? Neither with symptoms, whether with symptoms or health, it's the best time, because one, you can prevent for your body to go on blockages, inflammation, and all the illnesses to show up for you. And the other one, you can sustain your health through time. Right? So I want to invite you, if this is a call for you, we have two main or most popular detoxes. One is a 5 gut cleanse and parasites, and you can do it from anywhere in the world, right? And then we have a 7-day liver detox, and we have groups starting every Monday. So if this is a call for you and you want to go on a group, feel free to reach out so we can arrange everything for you, the delivery of the bundle, delivery information, access to a platform so you can see videos, informational materials. You can have access directly to me and ask any questions that you need, right? So again, we have the gut cleanse and colon and intestinal cleanse, which it targets the parasites, as anti-parasite and intestinal broom, right? So clearing out the mucoid plaque, right, with flushing everything out and killing all those beings that are affecting and taking out your energy and mineral sources, right? So what are the benefits of this one? So you're flushing out the parasites with their mucoid plate, which is with their home, right? You also supporting your nerve system. You'll get more energy as well, because the gut and the brain and nerve system are very connected, right? You're going to be absorbing nutrients, more nutrients as well, because the parasites and bad bacteria won't be eating those. You're gonna also have a better digestion, reduce bloating, gassing, right? You're gonna have a higher mental and physical energy as well after this, right? Another one is the liver detox, and as I mentioned before, you want to clear the liver pathways, right? Because the toxins make the creation of this liver stones to be blocked around the liver, especially in the gallbladder, and also known as gallstones. So you want to clear out the liver passage in order for the liver to function properly. When the liver can function properly, can detoxify your body naturally. Especially this organ is one of the biggest detoxes organs in your body, with a very complex system. So when we unblock this organ, then your whole body, it changes. It's going to be a different story for you, in a way that your symptoms will start fading away and your body will start working more efficiently, right? So one of the benefits of this, you'll get rid of stones blocking your liver, you're going to be improving your digestion, you're going to activate your energy levels, it balances emotions, because in Chinese medicine this organ is very much connected with emotions and how we feel. If we feel happy, emotional, hopeful for life, and so on. It can reverse illnesses. Most illnesses, especially chronic illnesses and autoimmune illnesses, starts in this organ, and it regulates hormones, since he's the one that activates hormones. So if he's not working, hormones get imbalanced. So naturally, when you activate these organs, your hormones going to come more into alignment, right? So here are the pricing and what includes. Usually we have $497 pricing for detoxes, but we're giving this special price now. So we have $197 for each detox that you do, right? Either the 5-day gut and parasite cleanse or the 7-day liver detox. And each cleanse includes an opening closing ceremony that you're going to have access in our platform, right? A group chat where you're going to have connections with other people doing detox, and a private one-on-one connection for any advice and questions that you have during your cleanse directly with me, right? You're going to have complete guidance for your cleanse and diet, right? And that's also all going to come in your ebook, right? Information that you can read through, additionally to being explained already in the opening ceremony and videos that you're going to have access to. You're going to have a detox diary that can support you emotionally and keep it track what's going on in your day, right? You're also going to have delivery of all your ingredients to the front of your door, so you don't have to go and do grocery shopping unless you're in a remote place. Then I can also guide you where to find it. So this is the pricing for the detox. And because if you are in Bali, then you get the access to breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We will cook for you, but this has an additional cost of $150. Usually it's really covers the cost of the food itself, and I try to facilitate this too. It makes it easier for you to go on a cleanse. Now, if you're not in Bali, I prepared a book recipe for you that you can see, and you can have a grocery shopping list and know how to prepare each of the meals. Either it's detox friendly meals or juice menu. So you can choose either or. Most people choose juicing as an option outside of Bali because it's much more easier to process and do, and also they can show this to their juice bars nearby, and the juice bars can prepare for them, right? If you feel like going on a full body detox, then we have all 3 detox: gut and parasite cleanse, liver detox, and kidney and lymphatic detox all in one. It takes about gut it's 5 days, lymphatic it's 5 days, and kidney it's 7 days. So it's around 17 days of a cleanse, and for only 500 USD, right? And this can have a consultation, a Chinese medical consultation, right? And if you're in Bali, we can include the acupuncture. But if you're not in Bali, we'll include acupoints that you can follow where you're at, right? So if you really want to go on a deep detox and you want to just choose one with a consultation and follow-ups on this, then we have a $427 in which you're going to get a full body diagnosis. You're going to get your detox diagnosed specifically for you, and then you're also going to get a follow-up. What are the benefits of all of this? It's a self journey. It's about letting go what no longer deserves, right? Letting go not only emotionally, spiritually, but letting go also toxins, mucoid plagues, and parasites and bad bacteria. So this puts us in a place of letting go. So peeling the layers, the old waste, right? Letting go traumas and drama as well of our life. Restarting body harmony, so reducing inflammation. Remember, we talked about this before. And getting rid of all illnesses and symptoms as well, really quick, in a very quick pace. And some other benefits will be to reset your gut flora and get deeper connection with yourself. When we start having better connection with ourselves, we start feeling ourselves more, understanding ourselves more, what we want, what we need, where we want to go, right? So our goals, or all these aspects of our lives. Address the root of your health, the root cause of your health. Where is that imbalance is starting, and how can we prevent it to grow, and how we can prevent to keep showing up symptoms in our body, to unblock the door to your fullest potential. So when we unlock and release all the toxins, all the blockages, then we start really living as we want to live. We start feeling vital, nourished, healthy, feeling light in your body to reconnect with your purpose. So now when you start feeling lighter in your body, you feel you have more movement, more motion, and you can connect to what you came here to do. Right? So we have two options. You can just not try it and stay the same, and things are going to continue as usual. Or you can decide to make a change now and see what happens. Right? So if you want to deepen your healing and you're not sure about detoxing right now, you can always reach out and we can have a traditional Chinese medicine consultation. When we go into a full body diagnosis, we go to a questionnaire of what's going on, and this goes beyond if there's parasites, bad bacteria, or liver blockages. This go beyond that, right? Then you will have a herbal formula prescriptions. You will have also a treatment for acupuncture cupping, depending where you are in the world, right? You'll have a treatment plan of what to do step by step. You'll have a full report with all this mentioned, with diet and nutrition plan for you specifically for your needs. So if this is your calling, you can also reach out and figure out when this can happen for you. So if you want to save your spot here and you're watching this video right now, or you have any questions, please feel free to scan the code and let me know that you attended to this class. Maybe share a screenshot or so, and I'll give you a $20 off for just showing up for yourself, learning, reading, and getting onto here. You'll be granted for this $20 off. So yeah, feel free to reach out, and this is something that calls for you and you want to start now, feel free to do so. And I'll be more happy to guide you on this health journey for you. It was a pleasure to share, and looking forward to hear from you when it feels right. Bye.